Today we are going to study lesson number 9, which is about an honest stone cutter. In the class, we watched this video and we discussed the importance of being content with one's life. Because all people in the world, everyone, their life's different. And nobody's life is perfect. So you have to be happy with what you have. Yes? Now look at this picture. And they are all looking happy and they seem contented. So what is the reason? We will have this discussion in class 2. Now let's move to the story. Now once upon a time there lived a stonecutter, and he went to a great rock on the side of a big mountain, and he used to cut out slabs for gravestones or for houses. And he was an expert in his work. He understood very well the kinds of stones needed for different purposes, and he was very careful workman who had plenty of customers. For a long time he was happy and contented, and he never asked for anything better than what he had. Now, in the mountain there dwelt a spirit. Now, all over the world, people talk about spirits and fairies and mythological, mythical creatures which grant wishes, grant boons. So here also there is a mention of a mountain spirit. Yes. Now it appeared in front of men every now and then and helped them in many ways to become rich and prosperous. But the stonecutter had never seen the spirit and only shook his head with an unbelieving air. Means he did not believe in the existence of the mountain spirit when somebody spoke of it. And there was a time coming when he was going to change his opinion. So one day, the stonecutter carried a gravestone to the house of a rich man and saw all sorts of beautiful things in the house. And from that day, his attitude changed towards his own life, because he saw so beautiful things there that he had never dreamed of. And because of that, his own work started to seem harder and heavier. And he said to himself, if only I could become a rich man, so I could sleep in a bed of silken curtains and golden tassels. Now you see, when you start desiring for things that you don't have, automatically what you have becomes unsatisfactory for you. This is what happened with that stonecutter. Suddenly a voice answered him, your wish is heard, a rich man you shall be. Now, at the sound of the voice, the stonecutter looked around but could not see anyone. So he thought that it was all his imagination. And he picked up his tool and went home. And he did not feel inclined to work anymore that day, so he went home. So when he reached the little house where he lived, to his surprise, there was, in place of his wooden hut, a stately palace standing, and it had splendid furniture, and the most splendid was the bed, in every respect like the one that he had envied, and this desire in him has started. Okay, so he was very excited, and automatically soon he forgot his old life. Now it was just the beginning of the summer, and each day the sun blazed more fiercely. So one morning the heat was so great that the stonecutter could scarcely breathe. So he determined to stay indoors till the sunset. And he was rather dull. He had never learned how to amuse himself because he was a hard-working man. His only enjoyment was hard work. Now he was not working, so he was bored to death. So what he did, he was peeping through the closed blinds and seeing what was happening and going around in the street. And then he saw a little carriage pass by, which was drawn by the servants, dressed in blue and silver. In the carriage, a prince was sitting with a golden umbrella held over his head to protect him from the sun rays. So immediately now, once your nature changes, you start observing what others have, then you will never be satisfied with what you have. Now automatically he is rich, now he is looking at the umbrella and the servants. So now he is thinking, what if I were a prince? And automatically he became a prince because his desire was somebody holding that golden umbrella over his head. What happened next? So a prince he became, and his carriage rode over a company of men, and another behind it, and servants dressed in scarlet and gold bore him along, the coveted umbrella held over his head. Coveted means strongly desired. Okay, now he had everything his heart desired, but yet it was not enough. Once you get into that cycle, you'll never be satisfied. You either are contented or you are not. It's not that things will make you content. Yes, so he still looked for something to wish for, and he noticed that no matter how much water he was pouring in the grass, the rays of sun scorched it. And in spite of the umbrella he held over his head every day, his face grew browner and browner. He cried in anger, "The sun is mightier than I. Oh, I were only the sun." And immediately the mountain spirit again made him the sun. Now he felt very proud of his glory. He shot his beams above and below, on earth and in heaven. He burnt up the grass in the fields and scorched the faces of the princes and the poor folks. But in a short time he began to grow tired of his might, for there seemed nothing left for him to do. Again he started getting bored, है ना? And then discontent once more filled his soul, and when a passing cloud covered his face and hid the earth from him, he cried in anger, "How dare the cloud is holding my rays? Is it mightier than me? Then I wish I was a cloud." And immediately the mountain spirit made him a cloud. Now what happened after he became a cloud? He lay between the sun and earth, he caught the sun's beam and held them, and to his joy, the earth grew green again, the flowers bloomed, but that was not enough because his nature had changed. So what he did, he started pouring water down on earth, and he poured forth rain till rivers overflowed, their banks and crops of rice stood in water, towns and villages were destroyed by the power of the rain, because everywhere he is discontent and he is trying to prove something. And only the great rock on the mountain side remained unmoved. He proved his power over everybody else, but the rock it still remained unmoved. Now the cloud was amazed at this sight and cried in wonder, "Is the rock then mightier than I? Oh, if I were only the rock!" And immediately the mountain spirit made him the rock, and he gloried in his power. Proudly he stood. Neither the heat of the sun nor the force of the rain could move him, and he thought, "This is better than all." And then one day he heard a strange noise at his feet, and when he looked down, he saw a stonecutter driving close into the surface. Now sudden realization dawned on him that I am the mightiest still. I am in trouble. And soon a great block broke off and fell to the ground. He cried in wrath. Wrath means anger. "Is a mere child of earth mightier than the rock? Oh, if I were only a man." And immediately the mountain spirit made him a man again. And as he became a man again, the sweat of his brow, he toiled again, means worked hard, and at his trade of stone cutting, and his bed was hard, his food scanty. Scanty means very little, inadequate, and he again learned to be satisfied with it. And he did not long to be something or somebody else. And he never asked for anything he did not have or desired to be greater and mightier than other people. He was happy at last and never again heard the voice of the mountain spirit. So the mountain spirit taught him a lesson and showed him that you can only be content if you don't desire what everybody else has, and you don't desire to be the mightier and mightiest of all. Automatically you will be happy with what you have. If you cannot do that, you will never be happy ultimately in your life. So that's the lesson, and We will meet in class again. So here you will read the lesson and solve this exercise. Thank you.